everyone, and welcome back to Tyranny. Apologies for the interruption earlier, and I did figure it out. It wasn't actually my computer or internet connection. It was YouTube itself. Surprising.
On it.
Okay, so we just got done dealing with the Earthbreakers, and specifically, but the Disfavored in general. And the Scarlet Chorus are up. And I'm kind of wishing I had kept Verse around. Okay, there's Fifth Eye. Let's see. There's False Pit. There we go.
Heads up. We have company.
There we go, and... Yeah, I'm going for this one.
Right.
Oh boy. Oh, actually. One per encounter.
It's a hit. On it. Beneath me.
There we go.
Your knees worm. I got it.
Hey, nobody saw that, right?
Oh, what?
I got it. We need to hurry, or the chorus will reach Ascension Hall. I got it.
I am happy about the regenerating health in this. Because that is a very nice thing. They cleave through. Clip the... She's probably going to be a little surprised. I've chosen to fight alongside the Vendrian Guard. Your loyalty to the Scarlet Chorus is no longer necessary. Oh.
Yes.
Nightwalker Quaff. Oh, here we are. Night Hunter. Although their stats being the same, why not? Oh, hey, I'm up to 60. Let's see, so it'll be... Mirror Image. Oh! Okay, that's a good one. Champion's Fortune. Let's see, that one didn't have any. Oh boy. Okay, that's a really nice one, but it's also 80 without any modifiers. Yeah, crap.
Will do.
Another demonstration of our power seems in order.
Alright. Oh, actually. Nope, not Titan's Touch. Here we are, Unravel Minds. Light of the Grave, Phantom Bolt. Or, wait a minute. Not Repelling Blast, not that one.
Not a problem.
There we go.
Back from the record. Before me.
I'm enjoying this a little too much.
Nice. Oh, more iron? Or... Let's see, Fractured Iron Sword. Huh. What the hell did I just pick up then? Actually, no. Barrett, keep going for that.
You see what I see? Get back! Let us take them together!
And I just got silenced, didn't I?
See? Not a problem.
Come back and face me! Not feeling so good.
Will do.
I'm injured. On.
Oh, I'm terrible at this. How am I not... dead yet?
Good work.
Okay, good.
At once.
hopefully I can do that mid-combat. Oh, hang on. How... Okay, here we are.
I got it. Ah, someone put me out!
Well, we aren't flirting with total disaster. Will do. No.
Get back here!
Consider it done.
On it.
Nothing to see here.
I got it.
Just holding my... My guts. I'm enjoying this a little too much.
Whew. That was a tough one.
I'll stay downwind of our enemies.
So let's see. He's at 2 wounds.
Yes. Right.
On the lookout.
On.
Pile in our weight.
Will do. Right.
Uh-oh. There we go.
I'll take care of it.
On your knees, worm!
Idiot! Thank you.
Right.
we go.
Come and feast my iron.
Nice. Oh, what was the one I just picked up? It looked like a scroll? Oh, literally a scroll. Sigil of Force. Oh boy. Let's see. Haste. Concussive Bolt? Tidal Burst. Okay. There we go. Restoring touch. It's nice that you can do it on the fly like that, I will say.
Time to lighten my step.
Oh, and she... Let's see. I'm thinking Grave Light, honestly. Actually, with how often she's getting hit, probably not the worst call there. Alright. Save real quick here.
No.
Awesome.
Demonstration of our power seems in order.
Back here. Pieces.
This is embarrassing.
Not a problem.
Come back and face me. I will aid you.
As you wish. As you wish.
I'll omit that from the record.
Break you!
Sorry about that, and really needed to sneeze. Oh boy.
On it.
Anyone else want some of this?
At one.
There we go. They're in Ascension Hall. Holy Lantry could not have gotten any closer without collapsing.
Moving cautiously.
In the most literal fashion.
On the lookout.
And how long does this last, actually? 45 seconds. Nice.
On it.
Okay. Head on up. I'm just hoping that it doesn't keep counting down as I talk, because I'm presuming that it will be a chatty one coming up. Fifth Eye. Oh boy. Last chance, Oathbreaker. Serve the voices of Narat or die here and now. Tell the voices. End this. Fool! You would bring your fire mages so close to the spire? The magic will burn beyond your control. But that's just what I was thinking. Fall back. Make sure there aren't any disfavored waiting to interrupt our dance. Oh, nice. Stand down or show me your strength.
To battle!
Oh boy. Okay, now I'll do some of the, once per rest. Wheel of Ages.
Good work.
Up you go. Holy. How long does that last?
Yes.
I mean, damn, that lasted a pretty good while.
I got it. You learn something every day. I got it.
Get yourself under control, buddy.
I will break you!
There we go. Ascension Hall is, for a moment, tranquil. Get up! Get back! Up! And fight! And with that, Kairos' Edict of Execution should be no more. Well then. I'm trying to think when this game came out. I want to say 2015, 2014? You blink away the last of the luminescent trails in your field of vision. The masonry of Ascension Hall is replaced with wide open space in every direction, save for the slab of ancient stone beneath your feet. High winds shove you, pushing you off balance. The air is cool and thin, unsatisfying to your lungs. Look out at the mountains. That's the apex ridge, that's the haven line. Judging from the sky, we haven't moved far in any direction. Kairos be damned. This is remarkable. Is this? Yes, this must be the mountain spire. When was the last time I may need to retch? Kairos be merciful. What now? Narat, help me. Somebody! Is this some sort of illusion? I've lived in the shadow of these spires for years and always wondered what's atop. But hey, it could be an illusion. Be both aside and tell us what you learn. If we could all feel the edict passing, the Archon sensed it as well. And while the edict didn't kill us, I'm sure that any number of soldiers down there would enjoy the honor. I hereby claim this place. This is now a Fatebinder's court, and all combatants must leave. Clever law dog. Hide behind Tunon's apron. When your Archon knows the depths of your treachery, rest assured he will destroy you for us. A shame, really. I do so doubt Tunon will make you suffer sufficiently. Well, it's just a matter of time until they find their way up here, right? We can start throwing down javelins, but didn't really bring enough. My aim's not that good. If you want to live, head through that portal and take word to the Archons. No telling how stable it is, and you'll see images of Ascension Hall in the haze. Well, if you have trained eyes, that is. Of course, even if it's not stable, the alternative is jumping. So, what do we have to lose? Portal, you say? This place is just full of surprises, as are you. What would you have me convey to the voices of Narat? Speak wisely. He is apt to remember anything you tell him, and carve it across your femur should you meet again. This valley is now my court. The Archons can squabble elsewhere. Your valley? Don't you mean Kairos' valley? No, you don't. You see yourself as lord, not vassal. Such thinking leads to glorious weeks, not healthy years. But we are nothing if not advocates of the strong. So yes, claim this little valley as your own, and hide behind the protection of the court. When Tunon realizes what you are and cuts you loose, we'll find out if you are strong enough to deserve this spire. One last thing, Fatebinder. Be cautious of your new friends. Their capacity to use you far exceeds the converse. Kairos' armies were unable to break the siege of Vendrian's Well. Thwarted by your intervention, the disfavored and Scarlet Chorus were repulsed from the inner keep of the Citadel. Though you stepped out from under the Overlord's shadow, you nevertheless satisfied the terms of the edict, removing the death sentence from everyone in the valley. No sooner had this peace settled than a new danger eclipsed it, the civil war between Kairos' forces. With the threat of execution no longer looming overhead, the Overlord's armies turned their attention away from the Citadel and toward each other. The tensions that flared over the long siege reached an explosive crescendo as the disfavored and Scarlet Chorus armies clashed iron and bronze in a hasty, disorganized battle. The battle that followed was fast and haphazard, with no clear victors or feats worthy of boasting. The disfavored made an orderly retreat to their fortress in the Blade Grave, while the Scarlet Chorus scattered in every direction, with most heading toward their stronghold in the Stone Sea. As days passed, the wounded and injured were nursed to health. You explored your strange bastion and planned your next steps with careful deliberation. The triumph of the Vendrian Guard brings hope to the subjugated people of the Tiers. Other factions, defiant of the Overlord's rule, are encouraged to proclaim their refusal to be ruled by a distant master. Tyranny, the Archon of Justice, observes the chaos and discord spreading across the land. The Archon summons his Fatebinder to return to court at the Bastard City and report on his actions at Vendrian's Well. This is no small thing you've accomplished. People all across the Tiers will discuss it, in secret of course. Kairos is still a threat to this realm, but for the first time we can imagine rising up. In 3 years of war, the best we have ever managed is a trifling victory. A skirmish here, small engagement there. This is our first major triumph. We endured the combined might of the disfavored and the chorus, all with Kairos' edict looming overhead. And going forward, we have the advantage of a divided enemy. For the moment, the momentum is ours. We will do more than talk. We will bring order to these lands. I will speak to Tunon. Unconditional cooperation from a servant of Kairos. If someone had told me a year ago to expect this, I would have laughed until my ribs cracked. See you back in Ascension Hall. And that went bye-bye. Look around for a solution. Oh, and there she is. Stirring visions. Alright, so another one in Sentinel, I think. And myself. And no. Boost morale. Ooh, okay, that might be a good one, actually. Vendrian Guard, holy crap. Sunspear. Okay. Scarlet Chorus. Scarlet Skin. Plus 30 defense against bleeding. Disfavored, not quite to Undying Fatebinder. Oh, nice. Ooh, that's a nasty one. Huh. Yeah. I think it might be a while before I get that with Barrick. Graven Ash, how is he still at 5? Uh-oh. Oh boy. Oh, I keep hitting caps lock for some reason.
Can't do that.
Series of symbols carved around the base of the structure come into view. I'd be careful going any closer. This whole tower is humming with energies that we don't understand. Now, I didn't say back away. Let's find out what it does. Just be cautious. I can feel power running through this place. You can sense the magic of the spire even from down below. But up here, this close to the axis of the spire, the deluge of energy is numbing. I feel dizzy. Do you feel dizzy? What is this thing? Is this thing? Your voice. For a moment there, it sounded like a song. Power finding. And the spire. At the base of this eternal spire, settlers and merchants act in every way unconcerned. Closer to the old wall's entrance. It was telling me where to go. Did you sense that? The ripples are everywhere. When you move, the magic of this place stirs and churns. That portal over there, those burning braziers, they'll grow more intense as you approach. I think it's responding to your presence. I hate to interrupt the wool gathering, but you did just resolve one of Kairos' edicts, which is at least as remarkable as ascending a spire. Am I the only one who thinks they might be related? As the lawful holder of this spire, it is your duty to find out as much about it as possible. That includes understanding edicts as well. If you forget your responsibilities, I'll be only too happy to remind you. No doubt you have much to report to Tune on. Will you meet with the Archon? Florian, Sybil, and I will tend to the wounded and salvage what we can from the Archon's war camps. Pardon me. We'll meet you back at our Ascension Hall, provided the Archon of Justice doesn't execute you for assisting us. Boy, it's little choppy right now for some reason, and I'm not sure why. But I don't have the settings that high, I know that much. Okay, it seems to be whenever I hit tab, for some reason.
So, the Scarlet Chorus and Disfavored are at each other's throats. Can't say I didn't see that coming, but the Archons might have waited until one war was over before they started another.
Do you think I made the right decision?
Fighting with the rebels? I'm sure Tunon didn't see that one coming when he dispatched you to help break the siege. Who can say? War is all about compromising your morals, deciding who lives and dies. What seems like a mistake turns into your greatest call down the road. I'll say this much, our time together is anything but dull. My blades are yours for as long as you'll have me.
Noted. I have questions for you.
What do you need?
I would like you to discuss your apparent connection with Barrack.
You've just got to know, don't you? I suppose there's no point in hiding it. Barrack and I are siblings. We share a father, if little else. I try not to think too much about some northern merchant dropping anchor in my mother's port, but it happened. And the fortunate result stands proudly before you.
How did you two become aware of this?
There were a lot of lazy days during the conquest, and among other things, I spent my off hours using messenger birds as target practice. You should have seen Ash's anger when he heard that was going on. One day, I snagged a bird that flew from the hands of a proud northern daddy. The missive was about the goings-on at the family farm. I recognized the name and handwriting from a note in my mother's belongings. There weren't too many people named Barrack in the army, so tracking him down was no challenge. I cornered him in camp, and we shared a few heated words. Some blackmail, even.
She tried to extort rings from me, and I was having none of it. Not even Graven Ash would think less of me for our father's indiscretion.
I like your confidence, but my ring belt is feeling a little light these days. Maybe you want to take me up on that offer, or I can start whispering in disfavored ears. Think about it.
How has this affected you, Barrack?
Well, Verse has a nasty habit of jabbering in my ear and making this war intolerable. I plan on parting ways and returning to the north at first convenience. My father will answer for his infidelity. Beyond that, I am happy to consider myself in every way unaffected. My superiors once accused me of having an impulsive streak, but I have worked to suppress it at every turn.
When you go back home, send Father my fondest greetings and thanks. If he hadn't gone to ground on my mother's dry dock, I might not be here today.
My heritage was a point of pride and distinction before I met you, Verse. Not that you would care.
Have you noticed any significant impact, Verse?
I've asked myself about that several times, but unfortunately I don't have what you'd call a definitive answer. The Northerners put a lot of meaning behind family and blood. Seems arbitrary to me, but I don't want to discredit it entirely. I told you about what happened to my Scarlet Fury sisters. The hesitation I experienced. Sometimes I wonder if that wasn't because of my connection to Barrack. He's stubborn, regimented, everything I'm not. I suppose there's no telling for sure, but if I had to guess... Yeah. Sometimes I get messed up in my head, and learning I had a brother has helped me understand that better.
Do you even like each other?
I've tried to get along with that ironclad knot of repression, but it would seem he's having none of it. Good riddance, then. The war's tossed us together, but nothing says we have to keep that going. The most we do for each other is try not to get the other one killed, which is more than you can say for most disfavored and Scarlet Chorus.
True.
What do you need?
We'll talk again later. Yeah, hitting tab for some reason is just doing that. I'm not sure why. Oh boy. Mysterious device. One hide, one scroll. Let's see. I'm thinking Kenrick. Okay, so
At
entry.
least in theory, I'm supposed to be observing history and not getting myself wrapped into it. All the same, this is the thrill of a lifetime. Rarely does one stand so close to monumental moments in the making.
Nice alliteration.
You're playing a very dangerous game. Or maybe toying with your food. By adopting the Vendrian God, you've bloodied the waters with the chum of hope. I must ask, did you help the Oathbreakers to suit your own plans and whims? Or do you genuinely wish to protect them?
They didn't ask for this war, and nobody else is going to fight for them if I don't.
And what of their past actions against Kairos? Aren't you worried of guilt by association? We saw what became of Cairn for merely suggesting treachery.
Their service to me is atonement for past transgressions. I will waste no time on talk of bygones.
We long held to the fantasy that someone would rally to our cause. But we assumed it would be our neighbors and cousins that rescued us from extinction. I'd never have guessed salvation would come from the enemy's court.
Whatever you do next, consider that many eyes will be upon you. For you have both delivered and taken away the Overlord's edicts, and few will know how to make sense of the latter. You are an exception the Archons cannot afford to ignore. They will likely aim to control or destroy you.
Have you heard of edicts being broken before?
Most of Kairos' edicts were either worded to end in a manner of the Overlord's choosing, or the edicts have simply continued in perpetuity. That's not to say there haven't been stories of broken edicts. They're just uncommon. The oldest is, I think, Goldbraith and the Edict of Sorrows, and that tale dates back to around the year 110. Aside from you, the most recent was the Edict of Twisting Grasses, back in 380. In all these stories, Kairos' edict very clearly gives its victim a single way to escape, and someone manages it. What's never happened is the pure abatement of an edict, like using a spell of warding or cancellation.
Let's talk further. Discuss current matters.
Of course. How can I help?
You're taking lots of notes. Well, what are your thoughts on our traveling associates?
Are you asking for an objective assessment? Or is this your way of saying you want to gossip?
Beric, what do you make of him?
You must have some leverage over him, as I would have thought he'd lead us into a disfavored trap long ago. Or maybe the Legion is just that polite? I must admit, I am completely fascinated by his predicament. Ever tried diagramming the articulations of his armor? Don't. It'll only lead to madness and ruination.
What do you make of Ebb?
Good tidecasters stay underwater. Kairos did the Tears a favor by erasing those moon howlers from history. A shame one of them escaped justice.
The hell?
I like that I make you this agitated. Considering all the things that don't seem to bother you in the slightest. I'm not gonna lie. I'm kind of getting off on how much power you're giving me here.
Oh. And then there's your coquettish act whenever someone calls you on your teeth. I'll be the one ready to tangle when, not if, you decide to pounce.
Thoughts on verse?
I know little of swordplay, and couldn't work a curve and arrow to save my life. I can't really comment on the lady.
Lady? You're just afraid to talk in front of me, clear as day. Your sweat is easier to read than your ink scribbles.
No, not at all. I just don't know how to comment on a warrior's worth, that's all.
Spare me your blather. Huh. Think that, do you? Didn't know you had such swollen hope for me.
Verse, explain yourself.
Just calling it as I see it. And I see he's holding back. Nothing serious, just a bit insulting.
No need to keep secrets, Lantry.
A most fascinating specimen. I think she has great potential. A dangerous amount of potential, to be blunt. The Scarlet Furies are the fighting elite of the Scarlet Chorus, and that means floating to the top of a sea of blood and chum. We should consider ourselves lucky to have her on our side, with her weapons usually pointed away from us.
Some questions. Well, current matters.
Of course. How can I help?
Know anything about the region we're in?
The Spires predate us all. As far as I know, we're the only ones who've been up here since... ever? I think this might be a first. Perhaps the real Trailblazer had trouble getting down and was lost to history. Of course. How can I help?
What about?
All kinds of things. My mind is old, memories a sieve. Keeping track of you, noting what I hear of the war, scribbling down reminders to myself, that sort of thing.
Is it safe to be writing on your arms that much?
Oh, certainly not. But it depends on the ink I'm using. Too much cerulean and I can't sleep. But just the right amount, and I can write all night. The red ink will give you swamp bottom if you drink it, but absorbed through the skin, it'll make you taste colors and smell music. Speaking of which, I should change out my tip. I use 3 kinds, sepia, cerulean, and a red that's never the same shade. My recipe needs work. I like having 3 colors, but they also provide different states of mind for writing.
Your rings sound like fun. Can I try them?
I can't in good conscience poison you.
Consider it a lesson. Cautionary tale about wishing for things. Fatherly moment. Any of those work for you?
Oh, fine. The things I do to educate the youth. Here's how it works. The reds give you a brief bout of synesthesia. Great for writing music. Cerulean can unhinge me a bit, but it blocks out the cramps and anxiety. My sepia ink is perfect for quiet contemplation. Also insomnia.
Let's see. I'll try the sepia ink.
Made from only the finest cuttlefish. What do you think?
Let's see.
I'd say it's working. Sit and enjoy that for a bit. It'll wear off soon.
Ebb.
Salutations, Fatebinder. Or should I now call you Lord of Vendrian's Well? The Spire King? Prince of the suggestive vertical slab.
Fatebinder's fine. No need for other titles.
That is how I met you, so that's how it's gonna stick in my mind. So if I might ask, what is your plan now? The edict no longer looms overhead, and Kairos' conquest of the Tears seems to be slipping. What with the armies and civil war.
First order of business, I should speak with Tunon.
I would counsel you to do just that. I'm sure the events of Vendrian's Well are best explained from your mouth to Tunon's ears. Furthermore, I'd guess the Archon of Justice would want to know your take on the Archons and their divide.
I'm improvising. Any suggestions?
My first suggestion would be to build a boat. Something durable, and take our chances on the high seas far from Kairos. I have a second and more practical suggestion. Look to the horizon and slightly up. By that I mean the other spires. We should see what's atop the others. Otherwise someone else might look first.
I don't suppose you've heard of others awakening the spires like I did.
Queens and kings of past ages have claimed the spires in the sense of, hey look, I put up a scaffold and hung a banner 1/10 of the height of a spire. But that's nowhere near the same thing as what we all just saw. So I say, let's see if the other spires react to you the same way this one does. If we don't, I'll take that as your way of saying you suffer from debilitating acrophobia.
I'd like to find others willing to follow me.
Kairos' armies made short work of the Tears. There's still plenty of anti-Kairos sentiment, but not a lot of folks with any fight left in them. But we have a few options. The classic option for a land war in the Tears is hiring Free City's mercenaries. Most of them were slain in the war, but the Bronze Brotherhood is still alive and strutting. They're stationed in Lethian's Crossing. The idea I was pitching to the Vendrian Guard. Let's arm every Beastman tribe that'll join us. The Stone Sea is home to a bevy of tribes that were freed during the war, and neither the Chorus nor the Disfavored can seem to tame them. If we really want to hate ourselves in the morning. Stalwart is pretty famous for not helping their neighbors, but also famous for being relentless at war. The Disfavored have their leadership surrounded, but the people in the storm-blasted countryside are still fighting. And while I don't endorse this, I must list all the options. The School of Ink and Quill. I'm sure there's some logic to working with them, just like there's some logic in cutting off your own head to prevent all future headaches.
Of those, what do you suggest first?
The Bronze Brotherhood of Lethian's Crossing aren't necessarily good company, but at least it'll be quick and easy to find out where we stand with them. We can afford them or not. They'll take a contract or not.
What about less obvious options?
Well, the court has a guild of mages, the Forgebound, right? They are your peers, seeing as you're all legally sworn to Tunon. Maybe you can get them to be more loyal to you than to Tunon? We could also try to drive a wedge between the Earthshakers and the Disfavored. The Disfavored are tied as family, but the Earthshakers are married in family? They were followers of Cairn and got adopted in.
You are right to call the Disfavored a family. We are far more than mere countrymen, and the strength of our legion is in the love we bear towards each other. Ever since the betrayal of Cairn, we have been less trusting of our arcane allies. The Earthshakers are a fickle academic bunch. Their principles align with their ambition, not the hopes of the North.
I wouldn't turn down the help of mages.
Nor should you. They may be deceitful and challenging to manage.
Hey, up
They
to
have
tier
served
2.
the Iron Legion well in the past.
So if these Archon-less mages could be persuaded to rally to us, we'd tip things in our favor. Easier said than done, of course.
That's all I need to know. That's all I have for now. Not saying that one in front of Barrick.
You have the luxury of acting on your own volition, though the Disfavored are likely to come for you. Whatever you decide, I'm at your disposal.
Your assistance would be most helpful. Thanks.
And I am thankful to not be a bloody pile of offal in Vendrian's well. Life under your banner will, I'm sure, prove most interesting.
Alright, and save real quick here. Well, that took a bit. Barrick. You okay in there, Barrick? Are you mad about something?
You betrayed Graven Ash, the Legion, and our northern countrymen. As far as I'm concerned, you are a traitor to this campaign.
It was my right as Tunon's Fatebinder to choose a side.
And you chose the savage Tearsmen over those who came to guide them with a civilizing hand? You disgust me, Fatebinder. Let us be clear on one point. You have my blade, but my heart belongs to Ash and the North. I am a weapon bound to you only by duty, nothing more. You look as if you have something on your mind. By all means, what can I do for you?
What do you think of Lantry? What do you think of Ebb? Okay. Alright, Bastard City. This should prove interesting. And if I still get the same weird glitch with hitting tab, I think I will call the stream here. But if not, I'll go through at least this portion and then call it after talking with Tunon. Okay, I'm still getting the glitch, so I will call it here. Oh. Okay, it cleared up a bit. Keyword being a bit. Oh, greetings. Enda Lucretius, formerly of Thistleholm. Of the look of someone who belongs here. A Fatebinder, no doubt. What is Thistleholm? Family's ancestral hall. All the stones dated back to the years when the bastard city was not but a dozen roofs and wagons clustered for warmth. What happened? Your home was in the warehouse district? Oh. Yep. So what are you going to do next? Well, Tunon's word is Kairos' law, whether you think it fair or not. Don't I know it? What do you mean? I have to put my... If more people knew how... I can only endeavor to bring true justice to the tears. Oh boy, this will be a treat. Fellow Fatebinders. There's Tunon.
You call yourselves officers of Kairos' army, but your conduct falls short of my expectations. The court finds your accounts of Vendrian's well lacking, rife with misdirection and fallacy, fouled with baseless accusation.
Just listen. Your Honor, I have relayed the events as I experienced them. You can well imagine why my version conflicts with his. On my honor, and on that of the great general, I would sooner snap my sword than perjure myself before you, Archon. Oh, so you imply that falsehood comes easier to my lips than yours. You're a fool if you believe the Archon of Justice won't see through your lies because the disfavored think themselves better than an honest gang.
Silence. The contradictions in your statements will be examined, and falsities threshed from truths. If we find you have perjured yourselves, Blood and Mark will see to your fate.
Oof.
Fatebinder, we will start with the matter of the Archons. Graven Ash and the Voices of Nerat have declared war upon each other. In addition to violating Kairos' peace, they have thrown the conquest of the Tears into disarray. By all accounts, these hostilities began shortly after your arrival. Tell us what transpired.
The Archons have been of different minds since the start of this war.
Your perspective is appreciated, but the dispositions of the two Archons are already a matter of record. Loyal subjects of Kairos have drawn blood from each other, a cardinal crime. Something happened at Vendrian's Well to trigger this feud.
The Archons could not agree on who should lead the siege and decided into accusations of treachery. It seemed a mutual spat. The disfavored were more deserving of the honor. Our tactics and training outmatched the Vendrian Guard at every turn. What balderdash. The disfavored couldn't tip over a straw hut if they had a week to strategize. Our howling mob was better equipped to overwhelm the Vendrian Guard. Our recruits were ready to throw themselves at the enemy if only Ash and his legion would agree to a plan.
The Fatebinder presents testimony. I warned you both against speaking out of turn. Something more than a mere disagreement unraveled this campaign. But I will return to that in time. Let us speak of Ascension Hall. We have heard troubling accounts of your actions, including claims that you worked with the Oathbreakers known as the Vendrian Guard.
I took the Citadel for Kairos.
As you say. And yet that was not evident from your actions. All accounts claim that you sided with the Oathbreakers. This would be the very definition of working against the Overlord's wishes. Enlighten the court. How is this not treason?
If my actions were not true to Kairos' will, they would not have satisfied the Overlord's edict.
Continue.
The edict stated that Kairos' servant must claim Ascension Hall. The resolution of the edict proves my loyalty. Well, actually, I think I'll go with the second one. It's a matter of parsing on this one. Edict stated that Kairos... I think I'll go with the first one since it shows more detailed knowledge. Hey, awesome. Oh, I'm actually getting him to 2.
I will consider this testimony at length. The court thanks you for it. Is there anything you wish to add at this time?
I've told you all that I know.
Your testimony is accepted by the court. The statements of our guests raise questions in my mind. There is much about this campaign that has caused me to wonder. A shipment of iron weapons was short on arrival. Where coveted iron is concerned, I don't believe it to be a clerical error. One of my agents recovered this seal in Echo Call. It belongs to a merchant collective. Lethian's Crossing is teeming with their kind. If you would root out treachery, I would advise starting there. Petitioners, leave us. I would have a private audience with the Fatebinder. Ascend and join me. You will find the way opened.
Fatebinder. You're no stranger to Tunan's court, but I prefer to spend as little time here as possible. In spite of these closed walls, I feel strangely exposed. If you're ever feeling generous, feel free to send a few healthy Oathbreakers to the Voices. We can always use fodder for the front lines, only if it doesn't cause too many problems with your new alliance. Huh. He took that a lot better. Huh. Okay, that, This is going a lot better than I'd anticipated, I'll admit. Like, if I'm not mistaken, Graven Ash is still at 5, which I don't even understand how the hell. Huh. I will not pretend to understand the strategic decisions you have made, but they are yours all the same. Even so, I am curious about your travels in the tiers. Come, let us speak freely. How were you singled out to become a Fatebinder? I can't speak for the other Fatebinders, but I joined the court when I was yet still a boy and impetuous beyond reason. I'd been imprisoned with a death sentence for the crime of desecrating corpses. It was nothing so exciting as you're no doubt imagining. I was merely burning corpses that awaited burial. Before the local authority could send me to the gallows, the adjudicator claimed me a great talent waiting to be realized. Why was it a crime? There was a time when even the Northmen were of superstitious stock, a time before Cairo. Ah, why burn the bodies? Yep. Good thing Tunon spared you. As I've said, the adjudicator saw... Oh, nice! Saw within me something of rare value. This is true for us all. You as well were chosen for our great court, for which I'm grateful. As the Fatebinder of War, I rely heavily on your talents. Could you remind me of the history and origin of the Fatebinders? Tell me more about Kyrus' armies and our allies. Ah, yes, with friends like these, our work is often self-explanatory. Let's go to the chorus. As the chorus marches, it conscripts indiscriminately from those it is conquered to replenish its ranks. There's no continuity of command in the chorus. Nerat allows, encourages even this. It's a nice way to keep people fighting against each other rather than focusing on him. The disfavored. Ask about something else. I've claimed the spire at Vendrian's Well. So the course whispers are true. Someday I would like to witness for myself this tower that is risen above the realms like a blade thrust into the sky. I'm curious about Tunan's masks. They can be rather unsettling, can't they? Even to one such as me. Have you ever seen Tunan change his masks? In the way that you or I would change our raiment? No, not as such. And yet I have seen the masks shift. They switch without the adjudicator or anyone so much as laying a hand on them. It's not something you can watch unfold. After a time you merely realize it's happened already. Work enough for the court that we shouldn't occupy ourselves wondering over mysteries. Silent face. Patient face. Face of resolve. Face that is no more. I would hear of your past victories in the war or of recent events. The Southern Beastman. Yeah, so far this is going rather well, which I can't help but be a little suspicious of, too. Yeah, I think I'll exhaust these three first. Greetings. Your exploits at Vendrian's Well are the topic of much discussion. One begins to question the intent behind your methods. I hope you are not wandering a path from which you cannot return. In spite of my reservations, I am most curious to hear of your travels. What can I do for you? Has anything happened while I was away? There have been whispers that Cairn grew disloyal to Graven Ash's command during the campaign in Azure. I took up the mantle of investigation near Plainsgate, and judging the rumors to be true, dispatched Cairn by proclaiming Kyros' Edict of Stone. The very earth turned against the traitorous Arcanus, the region split asunder in righteous judgment. How have you occupied your time in the bastard city? Sends me on assignments here and there. I settle disputes between the locals when the adjudicator is otherwise occupied. Everything from trade disagreements to pushing core squatters out of basements. Real rewarding work. The glory of war is not an honor reserved for the likes of us. We're the fish swimming in Tunan's wake, picking up scraps along the way. We're rather large and imposing compared to the bottom feeders of the tiers, but fish all the same. You seem to know much of my actions. Have you been spying on me? Don't act so surprised. It's my duty to ensure that those who operate under the adjudicator's name adhere to the spirit of his law, if not the very letter. Of course, I've nothing to hide. So you say, but I have to weigh all evidence presented before me with an objective eye. And those who don't will be dealt with swiftly and efficiently at the point of blood and Mark's blade. Of course, that is assuming I don't dispatch them first. I take my duty seriously, and I am very, very good at it. I'd like to know more about Tunan. I have some concerns about the war. Our armies squabble at each other's throats. Divided, we cannot win. I'm less concerned about the armies than the Archons themselves. Neither. They're both at fault and equally inept. And then who would lead our advances, or be left to deliver Kairos' peace? Would you wear this responsibility on your head? You may find it a heavy burden to bear. I can handle it. Bloodshed and brutality reign supreme. Peace cannot follow such cruelty. Okay. Rogalus. Fatebinder, you return. You look as if you have questions for me to untangle. Ask. I'm feeling generous. I want to talk about the sages. I will not speak of the sages. They are no better than charlatans and cons, wholly selfish in their ill pursuit to hoard all knowledge from others. They are self-blinded to their own deceptions and clever manipulations. They alone cause their own undoing and are solely to blame for the burning library, one of the most grievous of wrongs in their known histories, for which they can never be forgiven. Where did you study when you were younger? I've been a ward of the court for as long as I've been aware. As a child, I demonstrated wholly perfect recall, and I absorbed all that Tunon and my tutors had to offer. I remember hating all the lectures and wishing I could learn at my pace. Funny how I envied the sages of the Tears, how they could spend their whole lives reading and never exhaust their library. Of course, now the Vellum Citadel is nothing more than a burning waste. What do you think about the other Fatebinders? The Fatebinder of War. Nineveh's keen, brash, and a hardy braggart with a fondness for bloodshed. He can be utterly unbearable at times. His justice is fair, even if he skews toward rather exacting and uncompromising punishments at times. The Fatebinder of Balance. Callio is the finest among us. Her discernment is beyond reproach, and she is perhaps Tunon's favorite. She has a mind for suspicion and observation that makes others uneasy. We who operate within the confines of the law have nothing to fear, of course. What's your opinion of me? Whatever it may have been, it is reduced of late. No matter why you lent your favor to the southern barbarians, it has cast you in the darkest suspicion. Be advised, Fatebinder. Your objectivity is in question. We will be watching. Past Archons. Let's see. Can you tell me about the Old Walls and the Bane? The Old Walls. Tell me about the Bane. Spells are effective, but grab the attention of others lurking. Oh. Tell me more about the Tears. I'm curious to know more about the Younger Realms. I'd like to hear about the Free Cities. Can you tell me about the Bastard Tier? And farewell. Okay. Resave. Because I don't think I'll be able to... Pardon me.
This civil war, this feud, is an insult to Kairos' peace. It should not have taken the better part of a year to silence the last vestiges of the Oathbreakers.
Say nothing. Well...
Our allies squabble while our
damn
enemies regroup. It falls upon the court to measure the extent of the damage, and to execute the agents of disorder. I suspect that treachery, negligence, disunity, and greed have infected one or both of our esteemed allies. Until you are instructed otherwise, this matter is the court's primary focus. Graven Ash and the voices of Nerat must be examined in close detail. You are charged with observing the Archons and presenting your case that one of them has wrought chaos and disorder upon the Tiers.
Could they both be guilty?
It's possible, but the momentum of the conquest up to this point suggests otherwise. The failure at Vendrian's Well implies a coordinated will behind the chaos. As always, you will be held accountable for what you do in the court's name. But you are free to conduct your investigation in the manner of your choosing. You must expect lies, misdirection, and manipulation. Suffer not such obstructions of justice. At first, we were not amused by your alliance with the Tiersmen, but there is a logic, a pragmatism to the situation that we are willing to entertain. You deputized our enemies to bring order out of chaos. So long as you keep them on a tight leash, we will permit this union to continue under your auspices. The opportunity to bring peace through collaboration rather than warfare is one we shouldn't ignore. But if these Oathbreakers trust you, then take advantage of the connection. If indeed Graven Ash or the voices of Nerat conspire with our enemies, this would explain much of the events in Vendrian's Well and the feud ignited therein.
I will speak with them and learn what they know.
Be careful that you don't invite them too closely into your confidence. I would not empower the rabble by sending a servant of the court to do their bidding. Ensure that your objectives come first in all things. You see the nobles milling about this court. You hear the anxiety and uncertainty of a conquered people. Day and night I audience declarations of fealty to curry favor. What you don't see are the dungeons beneath the court, and the hundreds of Tiersmen who strained against Kairos' rule. I warrant that your Oathbreaker allies know a few of them, whether by blood or by allegiance. Let it be known that their lives are forfeit to the court's mercy, and any action meant to shatter what order we have established will be met with the swiftest reprisal. Blood will flow through these halls. Is that clear?
Abundantly clear, Your Honor.
I'm glad we understand each other. Be sure your new friends do not toy with the locals. Subjugate them if they will serve. Destroy them if they have exhausted their usefulness. I will not permit them to vanish into the Tiers, there to gather strength with renewed defiance for the Overlord. Your fellow Fatebinders have been busy acting as my eyes and ears. I have a few leads for you to follow. You should, of course, speak with your brother. Though the disfavored were triumphant in the Blade Grave, I understand that their troubles within the region are unfinished. Talk to the disfavored commanders serving in the Blade Grave. Perhaps they can shine some light on the origins of this feud. The Oathbreakers were reported to be using iron armaments, more than they might acquire from looting what few disfavored
I'm gonna click through some of these.
Any iron in the Tiers not rusted through was made by forge-bound hands in Lethian's Crossing. Between craftsman and quartermaster, someone let iron fall into enemy hand. There is a final matter to discuss. A sensitive topic.
What concerns the court, Your Honor?
In spite of the many shortcomings at Vendrian's Well,
Oh, yeah.
you managed to make a name for yourself. You proclaimed an Edict of Kairos, resolved its demanding conditions, and ascended the mountain spire. Any one of these feats would be worthy of recognition by the highest authority. You managed to accomplish 3.
I am in a privileged position to accomplish incredible deeds.
It pleases me that you grasp your role, as long as you temper it with a sense of duty. Whether by design or by accident, you have captured the attention of Kairos' army and the local Tiersmen alike. This is no small opportunity, and the court charges you with exploiting your new standing to its fullest potential. You have a title in our hierarchy. However, it's a little-known secret that one's standing in the world is determined by their infamy, their deeds, and how they come to be known. Mind this notion as you bring justice to this lawless frontier. There may come a time when your deeds speak for you louder than any title. If your killing spree in the bastard city is any indication, you are no stranger to spreading infamy already. Whatever you did to capture the attention of the masses at Vendrian's Well, I would encourage you to do so again.
Understood. I will be known as a champion of justice.
Good. It falls to us to set a new standard for these southern barbarians. You are dismissed. Should the court have need of your presence, you will receive word. Go.
Okay. Alright, save that one. I am curious if I can get up to level 4 with Tunon. I mean, I'm just shy of it. So I'm gonna try real quick. I'll be skipping through most of it just to... Well, actually, I'll be doing that first one, and then if that actually does get me a favor gain, sure. If not, I'll probably just do Alt F4 because the tab issue is kind of annoying me.
This civil war, this feud, our allies
okay.
squabble while our enemies regroup. If Graven Ash and the voices of Nerat must be examined in
I'll
close
make this my
detail.
mission, Your Honor.
As always, you will be... At first, so long as you... But if these Oathbreakers trust you, then take advantage of the connection. If indeed
Merely
Graven
pause to
Ash
resolve
or the
the...
voices
Well...
of Nerat conspire with our enemies, be careful. You see that I warrant that your
Abundantly
Oathbreaker...
clear.
I'm glad we do not. Your fellow... Though that is the Oathbreaker, there is a final...
What concerns the court?
Any one of these feats would
Privileged
be worthy
position
of
to accomplish
recognition
incredible
by the-
deeds.
It pleases me, whether by design... You have a title in our hierarchy. If you're whatever you did to capture
Champion
the
of Justice.
you are dismissed.
Wait a minute. And it's the exact same, so... Okay. Thank you all for joining me, and I will see you next time.